Welcome to episode 17 of the Being Ewethful podcast. Can you believe it? And look, I'm not at the mill. I am Kim Beegler. I'm owner of Ewethful Fiber Farm and Mill, and I am actually recording from home today. Before I get distracted by all the things to talk about, you can find us. Our main website is whethfulfiberfarm.com. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I'm all over the place if you Google, but you can find us. If you go to our website, you can find all the info, or look at the show notes and there's links to everything. So welcome. So I am at home today because this is actually my third attempt at filming episode 17. The first attempt was yesterday when I drove all the way to Halsey, which is where the mill is, and it's about 20 minutes from here. It's really not far. It's all country roads. And I got to the post office to mail my boxes of all the awesome things that you all have been purchasing from me, which thank you. And I looked in the back at the post office. Let me grab my boxes. Nope, no boxes. Everything was sitting on the side steps of my house because when I was leaving, I threw my routine off and I was like, I'm going to put my eggs. I sell eggs out in front of our house because we're on a fairly busy, like a commuter kind of a road. So I sell the eggs out front. The gates open. Let me put everything out front. Did that. Drove away without any of the stuff in my car. So it worked out. I just ended up stopping by the mill, feeding Wish, grabbing more orders that you guys have placed. Thank you again. And changing up the plan a little bit. Then I recorded last night up in my craft room. And I was like, that was crap. So here I am, outside in the yard, because we thought that's kind of a fun place to do it. And it's supposed to be 102 today, so it's morning. Occasionally a car is going to drive by. Sorry. Occasionally a tractor is going to drive by. I'm hoping an animal won't bring me a dead mouse while we're sitting here, because then you'll see me screaming. Anyway, but to my credit, I did sell a dozen eggs while I was gone. So $4 made, well worth it. I get really excited about any sale of anything. Just so you guys know, if ever you buy anything from me, I get super excited and I stop everything and I'm like, what did they order? Oh my God, so exciting. So know that you are appreciated. Or if you're driving by my house and you buy eggs, $4, I'm like, score for the day. So, doesn't take much. Before I forget, we had a giveaway last week. We will have a giveaway this week too. We will have a giveaway every episode is my plan moving forward. But before I forget, Jessica Wright, I commented in YouTube and I haven't heard from you. So if you are watching this, please message me via Instagram or send me an email and I'll get your address and we'll go from there. So I'll get you your lovely hand spun. That was in the last one. What's been going on? Not a crazy amount. I went to Palm Springs the last time that we were here together. My mom was in town. She was working on some stuff on her new house, which is in the next town over from us. Then we flew down to LA, drove to Palm Springs with my sister Heather, and celebrated her 50th birthday. And it was really fun. My sister Megan came out for a day too, so all of us were together there. It was also very, very hot. And it turns out there is a temperature for which I will not knit outside in, and it's about 100. I'm going to say 100. Let's call it at 100. I always thought, no, it doesn't matter the heat. That was too much. So 109 is what it basically was the whole time we were there, which means like you get in the pool, you lay and you read your book for 10 minutes, and then you get in the pool. And then when I finally have heat exhaustion, I run inside to the AC. So, but it was super fun, and happy birthday to my sister Heather. She's my big sister. Other than that, we've just kind of been chilling in. We did have an open shop day, which was super exciting, and we had some people come in that I hadn't met before, which was great. They did some shopping. I had some of my regulars that I love to sit and knit and talk with. And you're always welcome to come and sit and knit and talk with me when I have the shop hours open. So it was fun. I always get inspiration, and super fun. I get to see what people are doing with the stuff they've bought from me, because a lot of people are spinning or knitting or crocheting with fiber they've bought from me. Not mandatory, obviously, but it's fun to see what people are doing. So yes, I'm going to pause here because I wanted to talk for a minute about giveaways and just some stuff I've been thinking about with the business, because on top of the farm and the animals and harvest and everything else, my brain is always going with business, with this business, with youthful business. Like, how do I make it the best it can possibly be? What is my goal? And I've been watching this show. It's on the Magnolia Network, which just launched. They're not paying me. I just love watching happy things, as it turns out. I think that's as you get older, right? Like, I love watching Handmaid's Tale. Don't get me wrong. I love a good show, but it also kind of grips at me and hurts. And I'm like, there's so much going on in the world that is, I don't necessarily like to watch it so much anymore. So I'm watching this show called Florette. I think it's Florette Flower on the Magnolia Network, and it's all about this woman that has a flower farm, a massive flower farm, massive, like maybe one of the biggest in the country. And it's following the farm and the growth and the struggles, and it has just, like, I love watching stuff about small business and their stories and the decisions they have to make and the struggles they go through and the wins and all of it. It is fascinating to me, and it also gives me so much inspiration. So watching this has really, like, I literally have cried like 3 times watching just the first 3 episodes, which is bizarre. Also, I'm on the elliptical and I might be hot and tired and being like, oh, why am I doing this? But I wanted to pause for a second and show you guys my mission statement, because I just redid it. I think about 2 months ago, I relaunched the new mission statement, and I haven't talked about it here. So I'm going to pause. I'm going to let you guys read it for a sec, and then I'll be back. And this does involve a giveaway. Okay. Okay, so I'm bringing this up because I love my mission statement also. It took me forever to work it and to get there, and with the transition with the business of kind of moving away from custom processing into more producing our own yarn line that has stories behind it and has farmers behind it and shepherds and the people doing the work behind it, and knowing that we know the wool. I think it all came together in the mission statement. And the other night I was thinking about, what does success look like? She mentioned this on the show. What does success look like for her in the business, sort of, and what does success look like for the business? And those can be two sort of, as my husband said, diametrically opposed things, depending on what you're looking for in life and what you're looking for your business. And anyway, it hit me, and I thought, what are those goals, but really what does it mean to me? And one of the things that I came up with was being able to stay creative. And that's something that I was not getting so much when I was doing the custom processing, because my stress level was higher. I was worried about if I was going to be able to put out this end product that this customer that had worked or had bought this fleece or whatever, that they were going to be happy with. And that was a lot of stress for me. Whereas when I am making product for all of you guys, it is like my creative juices just get to flow, and I get to make what I want to make, and I get to figure out these blends and see if they work and how they work up and everything. So that's one of the things I think for me that success in all of this, and really in life, is that I am always able to find time to be creative. And if I can find that creative time in my business, right? One of the other things that hit me, and it's why I'm refilming the podcast today, is because I was kind of watching it and editing yesterday's, and I thought, there's no giveaway. And in my mission statement, one of my big things is being able to get more fiber into making hands, like getting this amazing fiber that we know where it's coming from. We know the work that's going into it. Not to say that there isn't work going into all the other wool and yarns out there, but just knowing the source and that it was produced here locally. So I thought, I need to have a giveaway in every single episode, right? Because what better way to get stuff into all of your making hands is to give it away, because sometimes it's just fun to give stuff away. And I know for you guys, it's fun to win stuff. So there is a giveaway today. It's not right this second, but the other thing we have is Fiber It Forward, which is when you check out for me. And I've talked about it before, but I just thought I would bring it up because it is another way for me and for you to be able to help me get fiber into people's hands that don't necessarily get to have it because of financial reasons or whatever, or maybe just emotionally they need it. But it's Fiber It Forward. When you go to check out, you can add $5, $10, $15, and I basically put it into a fund and I send it onward into the world in terms of fiber or yarn. So anyway, those are just some things I've been working on, and I wanted to share it with you guys and let you know that I appreciate you all also, and I want to give away some of this stuff that I make. So that'll come up soon. Okay, enough talking for me for a minute, right? So let's do the farm tour, or I'll do a quick farm update. There's not a whole lot going on. We have chicks still, that mama that we talked about in the last episode. I misread her signs. It happens to the best of us. She did not want those chicks. So we've got the 3 chicks. We'll visit with them, and they are getting big and sassy. And today was the first day I walked in, and one of them was jumped out of its little pen. So we're working on that. We're gonna and Mitch is gonna build them a little outside pen so they can start having some outside time. It's so warm that this is a great time to have chicks, because chicks do need to have a certain temperature to stay warm. In the meantime, we have a new mama who you will see on the farm tour too. New chicken mama, that is. While I was gone, and right before I was gone, probably I wasn't paying the most attention to how many chickens were in at night. And she was just hiding from me, and she was brooding. Meaning that she was sitting on eggs or sitting in the box. Honestly, you could take the eggs out at this point. She wouldn't care. And she's trying to make babies. So by the time I got back, she's just dead serious. So we moved her into her own chicken condo. I ordered her chicks online, which I've never done before. These are coming from a farm. It's Alchemist Farm, I believe. I will put the link. Sorry, a tractor's driving by. I'll put the link up, and they're going to come in the mail from California. So super exciting. In the meantime, she's in her condo. She has stopped really eating and drinking, so we started giving her watermelon upon the idea of the actual people that are doing the chicks, and that is really good. She's getting a lot of fluids in, and she's even eating a little bit of kibble here and there, as long as it's all right next to her and she doesn't have to leave her. I actually have fake eggs under her at this point. So we'll say hi to her. And the only other thing, Johnny Rose, he broke his horns off. One of them he did, and it was just kind of hanging off, no blood, easy peasy. So he's got, and then very next morning, that one finally kind of popped off, blood everywhere. I think he's sticking his head through the fence, and then his little horns get caught, and rather than being a calm sheep, he just rips his head through, and there you go. So he did his own horn trimming for me, so that's nice. We're just keeping an eye on that to make sure flies don't get to it, infection, anything like that. But it looks good. They're pretty hardy creatures. So I'm gonna let you go say hi to everybody, and I'll be back in just a few minutes. Enjoy the farm tour. This is our first trip down for the morning. Everybody's a little mellow. They give me a little bit of time. Here's Johnny at the water bowl. His horns are looking short, but pretty good. Hi, Johnny. Everybody's coming up to say hi. Hi, baby. There's Patrick. Hi, babies. They're like, bring us some food. There's Johnny. And this guy's fleece. Oh my gosh, all of their fleeces. Look at Patrick's, is that beautiful brown. My mama's back there. And they're like, did you bring us food? Here's Taraji. Everybody else is just waiting. Did she bring us anything, they say? That's Dolly. Always the loudest. She's taught the lambs to. You can see Andy there scratching his head. Conveniently. Alright. Dolly. Here's Mama. The girls are all resting inside. And June's been getting a little more time out. I come down first thing in the morning when I let the chickens out. And that's a fly mask. I think I've said that before, but that's why she's wearing that. You ready to go out, Junebug? Oh my goodness, Alma. Is that a fart? So she gets to go out until I come back down to feed everybody. So that gives her a little more time out. There's Khaleesi. There's Miss Madrona. You can actually see her lymph node a little swollen there, but she's been acting just fine. In fact, yesterday she spit at June right in the face. And luckily, hi Alma. This is Alma's new thing to not mind being scratched a little. And Cuddlebug. Hi, Cuds. Hi, Cuds. So, we'll let them get back to it, and let's go let the chickens out. Okay, here we are in chicken world. It's supposed to be 102 today. Yay! So, one lots of them sleep up there, as you've seen. I don't know why she thinks she has to go out that way. Chickens aren't always the most intelligent, but she figured it out. So there they go, off for the day to forage, and Halsey's always there to make sure. All right, I'm going to open the back door for them. Some of them really like the back door. And then we're gonna go check on our baby chicks and our brooding hen. I'll be back. Okay, so here's our babies. And apparently it's time for a cover because I came in and our little black girl was out, which they're, I'm thinking 2.5 weeks, almost 3 weeks. So that makes sense. It's time. We're gonna get a cover for them so they stay in, and I tried to put them outside, but they were still just a little too small, and they got through the fence. So, see if I can get somebody without them flying out on me. And you can get it up close and personal. You can see their little feathers are coming in. And their feathers on their, so they're getting there. There's a balance between giving them enough heat, which now we're lessening. You lessen every week by about 5 degrees. But this heat outside is making it so it pretty much is just where it needs to be. I put it on them at night for a little bit, but if they're too warm, then their feathers won't come in. And so, look at them all like, we can get out of here, we can get out of here. So, I'm gonna go find a little wire cover we can put on top of their space, and they might be just big enough we can get outside. All right, we're gonna move on to Mama Hen now. All right, so we are at Mama Hen's little condo on the top of our property. And this is where we lost one, and you can hear, I don't know if we can see, I think they're gonna come into view that they're farming across the road from us. There it is. You can see all the dirt kicking up. Yep. This is the dirty time of year in this town. You literally pull, like, or if you're on I-5, and there's our mom peeking her head. And she has her wattles pretty light colored. I've got food in there, but she doesn't seem to want it too much. So we're just gonna stick this down with her so she can eat when she's ready. I know, Mama. You can hear her making mad sounds. So we'll just leave that there. And she'll eat the entire thing throughout the day. And then we'll bring her more later this evening. Okay, guys, that's it. We've checked in on everybody. Now you can see the dirt. Yes. Just a dirty, dirty time. Anyway, I was saying if you try to pull off the freeway right now into Halsey, It's just a cloud of dirt at the exit in the air. All right, everybody, take care. See you soon. Update. I hope the farm tour was fun. Everybody's pretty chill. I recorded this morning, and it's been so warm that everybody's just like, even when I go down there, I just try to keep it low. I don't go down as often because I don't want the sheep are, they just figure out their spot and then they settle in, and I don't like to disrupt them. And if I come, either the dogs disrupt them or they think I'm bringing them something, and I'm like, everybody just stay chill. So it's kind of a chill, quiet time on the farm as far as the animals go. Me trying to keep everybody cool. Okay, time for the harvest update. Harvest update. So we are just about wrapping up the actual harvest. And what I mean by harvest is pulling the product, the seed, off of the ground and into safety. So that's just about done. They're just finishing up the bent grass right now. And bent is kind of our specialty grass that we grow. That is actually, that seed goes towards the tees and greens on golf courses. So that's kind of our one high-end grass, whatever you want to call it. And it takes a lot more pampering. You have to drive the combine a lot slower. That seed is harder to separate. And they go over the fields twice just to try to get all the seed out, because for most of our grasses, Mitch is driving back and forth all day delivering those trucks that are getting filled with seed. With the bent grass, it's like, park a truck, there's that truck sits. Like, maybe the truck will be full. I don't know if the truck even, I don't actually know how much ends up in the truck, but you can pretty much park that truck there and leave it while they're combining. So Mitch is out doing other things right now. He has been mowing, and that, I'll see if I can get him to take a picture today, but if not, I'll throw one in. But it's basically a tractor that has, a huge tractor that has an attachment to it. So he's running around and just kind of mowing down corners and spots where the grass is still standing too tall, because the next process is to start turning the dirt up, basically, just like you would in your garden if you were replanting. Same idea, except on a much bigger scale. But the less tall grass, the less things that the discs have to fight with, the easier that is. So he's been running around doing that. He's actually getting home by 9 now. So, ooh la la. Yeah, and it was a good harvest for us. So that is good. And honestly, the dry made it so that we're a couple weeks ahead. So that's nice also. Nice for a change. Okay, I'm going to stop and let you guys see. I just have a fun little video from inside the combine. Last time we had some outside clips, I believe. And this time, anybody that comes to visit us this time of year, they are seeing, they get to go sit in the combine if they want to, basically, or a tractor or whatever they want to sit in. So Mitch's friend came with his son, and they actually just live in Eugene, but his son hadn't been out before, so they got to drive combine. My nephews have driven combine. My friend that came up with her girls last year, her husband and the girls went out and drove combine. You can even drive the combine. That's how fancy we are around here. So anyway, I have some clips from them inside the combine, so you can just kind of see what it looks like from their view. And I'll be back after that, and we'll talk a little bit about all the things that I am working on. All right, see you in a minute. Okay, we're back. So it's time for all the things that I am working on. So I have some small updates, and you see, this is the perk, because last night for some reason, I've just been feeling the urge to stay up a little bit late. So I was working on this last night, and I actually can show that I've made some progress. So my horn Dorset cowl thingy is coming along. I actually joined, and I'm halfway through officially. And I don't know if you guys are like me, but I am horrible at reading my pattern all the way through. You'd think by now I'd be better at it, but I just don't know why. And I bet it would solve a lot of problems for me. But, so I'm literally, this is kind of the halfway point. We joined, and then we just keep knitting and purling. So easy enough. And now we're just knitting and purling in the round. So I don't know if any of you yarn club people are working on this. I know my mom is. She cast it on while we were down in, I think she cast it on right before we got on the plane, because you got to have your plane knitting. And actually that was a really nice thing about Palm, is that in the mornings, my sister and my mom and I would go sit out on our little deck, and we had a little view of like a little pond and the golf course, and we would sit on our deck and drink our coffee and knit together. So that was super fun. Okay, so we have that. My sweater. And I'll put all the links to all the patterns. I just am not going to do it because, let's face it, I've been knitting on all these things forever. So, my sweater is making solid progress. It's pretty focused on this on the trip. I'm dropping things. A sleeve! She has a sleeve! And it's actually almost done. I'm almost to the cuff, and I'm also almost about to drop all my stitches. So, there she is. So sleeve, then we'll pick up or we'll do the other sleeve, and then I have like a 4-inch cuff that goes, so I'll have to pick up all these stitches in the front, but we're making headway. The sucker's gonna be on me by fall, I swear it. So there's that, and I just realized I forgot my iPad, so I'm gonna have to run in and grab that so I can show you. Excuse the sassy bra strap there. I'll be right back. Okay, iPad achieved. So I'm going to cast on some socks in our Prineville yarn, and this was the giveaway time. I'm going to give away a sock kit. Yay! Because everybody should knit socks, right? I say this because I'm convincing myself that I am going to finish these socks in faster time. So sock kits are basically 500 yards of a natural, and you get 125 yards of a contrast color with it, and you get to pick. Giveaway winner, you get to pick. I have like 5 or 6 colors for the contrast color, so you get to pick that color and knit some socks out of it, maybe, hopefully. So if you want to enter, comment below. I don't even know what to comment. Just comment anything. Any comment. I mean, I love comments that say what you want to see or what you'd love to hear about, anything like that. But feel free to just comment anything nice. If it's not nice, you don't get to be entered in the giveaway. That's my only thing. So comment below, and we'll do until Tuesday evening, which is, I'm going with August 2nd or so. I'll put the date here, but through Tuesday. So here's what I'm about to cast on. These are the Meerschaum by Sashiko Bergen. I am very excited to cast them on. Let me find one more picture for you to see of them. And I think they're going to be really beautiful in this yarn. And yes, they are lace. And yes, I am crazy. But if you want to join me, you should definitely join me in knitting these. We all know it's not going to be a super fast knit. So if you don't have a ton of time, it's not quite as stressful as a knit along. Because I'll probably have the toe cast on the next time I see you. I'm going to be a little further than that. I should probably set goals with you guys. But let's just see if I can get it cast on, and then maybe next time we'll set some goals. But if you want to knit along with me, let's do it. So it's the Meerschaum. I'll put the link down in the, and this actually calls for 500 yards of yarn, which is plenty in the kit, because you're actually going to get 625. And yeah, I'm excited. It is nothing crazy. It's top down, ribbed, lace. What more could you want? A challenge, right? But I think it's going to be really beautiful in this yarn. So anyway, enter the giveaway if you are interested in some Prineville sock yarn. So that's coming up. I have been doing quite a bit of hand spinning. So one thing I finished when we had our shop day. So this is, I'm thinking, this is the Romney alpaca mohair. So our signature is Romney alpaca silk. This one is where I was testing with my fiber club with the mohair. And I've seen two fiber club people's yarns that they've already spun up. So different. One of them spun it into a 3-ply sock yarn. One of them spun it into like a 2-ply worsted. They both love it. They actually both like it more than the silk blend, which I didn't think was going to happen. So I thought, well, dang, I better spin some of this myself. So, one bobbin complete. I did that all in one day because I was just flying through the shop day, and then I came home and was happy. Oh my gosh, there's such like, it's overcast and a nice breeze at the moment. The other thing I hand spun is this beauty that has all sorts of other stuff on it. Excuse me. So this is 100% Romney. I actually got this fiber in Scio at the festival a couple months ago from another vendor, and she, I believe, dyed it in the wool, and then she carded it on a hand cart, or like not a hand cart, but on a carding machine that she has at home. And it had a few little neps and things which you can see in there, but that color, how could I avoid that? And so I have one more, I have another bobbin full, and I have to do one more bobbin, and then there'll be 2 skeins, and this will probably make its way into the online shop, I think. And I just think it would be such a pretty hat. And it is, I would say it could be worn next to skin, although probably not everybody. It's a little itchy. It's Romney, so you know, it tends to be just a little bit more rough. Okay, that's the stuff I've been working on. What's going on at the mill? So I've been having super fun at the mill. Talk about enjoying the creative time. So I didn't have any deadlines this week, and it's kind of been hot, so I've just been going in a couple hours a day. Today I probably won't go in at all. And I've been going in the morning until I start to sweat, and then I'm like, but then the other day I didn't leave till like 4 because I just got in it, and I was like, sweating, I don't care, I'm having so much fun. So those are awesome days. So one thing I came up with this week, and you may have seen it on social media. Hopefully you can see out here. It might be a little hard. You can see some little flecks in it. So this is Columbia wool. The wool from these sheep, so these sheep came from Imperial Stock Ranch. They don't live there anymore, but they were purchased from Imperial Stock Ranch, which is a pretty known ranch around here. Their wool made the Olympic sweater, gosh, like 10 years ago or something. So their name kind of got known then. But so this is Columbia wool, Angora rabbit, just a smidge, and some dyed silk neps. And I was a little concerned about the wool. The people that we got it from didn't grow the sheep for the wool. So I didn't know how it was going to card out, but it ended up carding out pretty nice, pretty darn nice. So I have lots of this to make more of it. It's in the online shop now, and I have a little video just talking about how I decided to come up with this blend. So I'm going to stop here for a minute, let you guys just kind of watch my thinking, and maybe it'll help you if you're doing some blends at home. Maybe it'll help you come up with, or explain to you if you were spinning something, why it was giving you a pain in the booty, or why some of our stuff you find is easier to spin than some other stuff. So I'll stop here and let you see, and I'll be back in just a second. Hi everyone, I just wanted to show you, I just posted, or I was working on this new fiber, and I thought, hey, I should share like how I got to this blend. So this is basically, this is a Columbia wool, and it's got, and I'll focus in on it in a minute, it's got a little bit of Angora rabbit, and it's got some neps, some silk noils, which is just the waste from silk production. So the reason I decided to do this is, first off, the Columbia wool is not like the best, and by that I don't mean that the sheep weren't great or anything, but where this wool came from, they were not growing the sheep for the wool. They were made, I don't know why they had the sheep. These sheep came from Imperial Stock Ranch. They were bought there, so they're no longer part of that flock, but they were purchased from there. So they're Columbia sheep that are pretty, a lot of people know that ranch from their yarn. So, but it's not, and I should just say, basically they weren't growing it for that, so they didn't take care of like vegetable matter, and the wool wasn't their primary concern. So they may have just had them to graze, who knows. So that was part of it, because it wasn't like my prime wool, so I thought, let's have fun with it. The second thing is the staple length is not super long, it's a couple inches, and it's on par with some of the rabbit that I had. So here's the rabbit, and I'll walk up and show you. But they're pretty similar, especially once you stretch out. Of course, this is a big old clump that's not going to show you, but once the wool is stretched out, they're pretty similar. So a nice thing with when you're blending, one thing to try to keep in mind is to have your staple lengths the same, because it's gonna spin better. I mean, you could have different. For my carder, a lot of the shorter stuff's gonna fall out if they're not about the same. So it's something I take into account. Even when you're blending up stuff at home, if it's not about the same, it's gonna make it harder to spin. Some of it's long, some of it's short. It's not gonna spin as evenly. So that's a tip for blending fibers. And then I just threw in the neps because I thought it would be fun. I had bought these a long time ago and we dyed them, and I'll show you kind of what they look like up close. And I just kind of have it sporadically because my carder will open it up as it's going. So I just kind of thought I would show you kind of, this is just the mindset behind how I decided to do this blend. And it's turning out really fun, and I'll let you see here. Actually, I have some sample over there, but I'll turn the machine on and let you see how it goes, and I'll show you up close. I'm gonna have to flip you around, so bear with me here. You can kind of see up close and personal. There's some of the Angora, and I don't use a lot. A little bit of Angora, which is rabbit fiber, goes a very long way. And I just put it on top because it's also very lightweight and it likes to blow everywhere. So I just put a little bit, I spread it on top just as it's going into the carder. And then you can see there's not a ton of neps in there. I don't want it to be overwhelming. I just want like a slight tweedy effect to it. So there it is, and I'll show you. And sorry, I have all my lights off in here because it's super warm. So here's some before it's going on, and then here is some that I carded up yesterday, and you can see it's not like an overwhelming amount of neps, and you can't even tell that the Angora is in there. Sorry, get some focus. But it's just enough that it's gonna be fun, and it's gonna kind of make a tweedy effect to the yarn when it's spun. So there you go. Okay, I hope that explained to you kind of just how there's so many bugs, how I come up with some of the blends that I do, and it's fun, you know, trying to figure out how to match them up and how to make them work best and to make them into a product that I think you all are going to enjoy spinning and or knitting or crocheting or weaving with. So I forgot, speaking of weaving, I wanted to show you because I'm going to cast on those socks. I have big aspirations in the next 2 weeks, and I've picked out these yarns, and they are going to be my next weaving. There's going to be something on my loom the next time you see me, and I think I'm going to use a white also. I'm not quite sure, but I picked these three out. This is one that I bought in Sacramento, and it's a local it was locally produced down there. And I bought it before, and every time I go to this yarn shop, I buy more because it's just super fun, and there's all sorts of stuff thrown in there. And then this is our Halsey yarn that I dyed up, and it was just a mini example. And this is 100% alpaca. So I'm going to throw all those together in a super fun way. So wait and see. Okay, last thing I have to talk about is some yarn that I had fun with, and it actually inspired somebody to buy some roving, so that's great because I do have this in roving too, but I spun up, no, this is different. So this is Navajo-Churro wool, and that is a breed, and I think I'm going to try to find a picture of the sheep because they are such unique looking sheep. They're fiber. So Navajo-Churro are actually the oldest breed of sheep in North America. They are a heritage breed. They are a pretty hardy sheep. They are a double-coated sheep. So most of their fiber is the finer undercoat, and then you can see that there's long hairs. They're popping right out you there. That's the outer coat. So the undercoat can be fairly fine, depending. The outer coat, not so much. And so what I did was, I've had this roving forever sitting in the mill, and I was like, this is ridiculous. And I've just been playing and having fun at the mill this week. So I thought, I'm going to pull it out. I'm going to try to just spin it Lopi style, meaning all it's doing is getting spun as it's going onto the bobbin. It's not getting drafted at all. It's just getting a very light spin, and it's a single, so it's just one strand of yarn. And I did end up having to run it through the draw frame, and it's in the mill tour. You can kind of see what I did, but it came up with, and it's a very like thick and thin. It's just kind of how the roving was, but I'd say it's a bulky, it's somewhere in the bulky, super bulky Aran weight. It just kind of is going to fluctuate throughout, and it's just got a super light spin on it. It would be great for weaving. So Navajo-Churro, traditionally, rugs and tapestries is what this wool is used for, because it's not the most next to skin. I mean, it could be, the finer stuff could be, and I think you could make a hat out of this pretty easily. And it's just such a unique, beautiful wool and yarn. Yeah. So if anybody's interested, there's a couple skeins. I'm going to put a couple more skeins. There is a little bit of roving left as well. So that's there, and I just thought I'd go back to end on a note of wool is not generic, right? Here's just a little mini of that horn Dorset, and I'm gonna have to wind it up soon so it'll disappear. Here's the Navajo-Churro spun up, and I'll stand up and let you see. Don't make fun of my outfit too much. It's like the people working from home. Oh good, you can't see it too much. So if we start here and they're at the same place, look at that. Same skein winder, and you can see I can pull this. This has so much stretch. I can pull it almost down to there, and it bounces back up. This, there's nothing. And you can see there's a little twist to it. That is because this is just that single ply. So I haven't plied it back on itself. So it's a little bit unbalanced. That's how singles really are gonna be. And that's how, if you didn't know what a single was, you may know you've knitted with one because, or crocheted, because the yarn kind of wraps back up on itself. So anyway, just going back to knowing your wool and different breeds and breed specific things, this is, I mean, they're not even in the same world as far as the type of wool these two sheep are putting out. So I just thought that was kind of fun. Now I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to knit with this horn Dorset because it's been such a great example. But anyway, guys, I think that's it. I think we've covered everything. I hope that you enjoyed this. Hopefully this isn't too loud with the background noise and the wind starting to pick up. Thank goodness the wind's starting to pick up. And I don't think any of my sheep walked by, but they're all up top, just beyond me over here. And everybody's eating before it gets too warm. I always think it's not going to get that warm, but it will. Anyway, thank you all so much for joining me. We're going to end with our, I always say it, with our mill tour, with just me running around, and I'm warm and having fun, and hopefully it's enjoyable and a good way to end. Thank you all so much for joining me. I appreciate all your support more than you all can ever know. And until next time, take care. I'll see you soon. Hi everyone, it's mill tour time. So I have basically ADD at the mill right now because I don't really have to, I don't have a deadline at this moment. So I'm just playing. So I'm going to flip you. All right, so I've already showed you the craziness that is that blend, the Columbia blend. That, of course, right now it's very hard for me to show the flex, but so I also right now, and the place is a little bit of a mess because of my ADD, but I also am steaming up some Prineville that has already been dyed, but for some reason it just needs a steam to make it prettier to me. So I wound it back onto a cone, and it's running through and getting steamed, and I'm just doing small amounts of steaming at a time because it's really warm. All right, what else is going on? So I'm about to start the draw frame here, and maybe I'll pause and get it started so you can see it. Okay, we're back. So the draw frame is one of those machines that I actually have to stick my hands in, so I don't want to be distracted talking to you guys while I do it. But so this is Navajo-Churro. So different, right? So different from lots of other wools. pull back so you can see. So it's going through the draw frame. So what I've had this Navajo for a while. It was a fiber club a long time ago. Not long, but over a year ago, I'd say. And I don't even think I have it on the website. So I'm going to try to get some of the fiber on the website. But what I'm doing here is thinning it out so I can I'm spinning like a Lopi style yarn with it. And by that, I mean, it's just very minimal twist and it's a single. So I'll show you. So I'm gonna shut this guy because there's a little bit of an ionizer bar in there that will give it it'll help kind of cut down on the static that is happening right now because it's warm. I think it was 73 in the back of the building, which this is usually my cool spot. And there's not, actually we're gonna hold on for just a second. Okay, so sorry, I had to get that started back up. So this is what it looks like when it's spun up. It's super chunky. I love it. I just love it. So I tried to do it without running it for the draw frame, but my roving was just too thick, so I needed to bring the size of the roving just a little bit thinner. But isn't that so pretty? This would be super fun for weaving with. And we're gonna go in the spinning room as soon as this is done, and I'll let you see it spinning. It literally takes just a couple minutes to spin a 4 ounce. This is almost 4 ounces. Okay, in the meantime, we're checking to make sure that's running well. And we're gonna go over here, and that was probably a bit of a quick turn. I apologize. And again, the lights are off back here. But I am just finishing up washing up some Columbia, the last of the Columbia. So that's coming off. Guess what's up next, guys? Gulf Coast Native. I'll give you a little sneak peek of it. I think it's in here. Yes, so this is one Gulf Coast Native fleece that I will be and it was grown here in Oregon. I got it from a Oregon farm, and there's not very much of it. Let's see, we've got 3 pounds, so and then it's probably not going to be very much at all, so that'll just go into roving. That will be for sale, and I'm not going to put that online, so you guys, between now and the next podcast, I would guess it'll go up. So, and then on the drying rack, of course, we have some more border Leicester. We have some dyed border Leicester, and the bottom we have Columbia. And this is a pretty nice fleece. A little more VM than I like, but still pretty nice. So that's where we are back there, and I'm gonna come right back, and I'll let you guys see how the spinner goes. Okay, so I thought I would show you the finished yarn here. It's really pretty, and I'm gonna post it here shortly. And then I only spun up 2 skeins, and you can see how chunky it is. I brought it's gonna be super bulky it's just kind of everything. It's just kind of all over the place. So I'm gonna list it, and then tomorrow I'll do a couple more of them, but they're really fun. Okay, everybody, thanks so much for watching this week. I'll see y'all soon. Take care.